no one challenged them. This is going to be Ammunition's team all alone.
And these are pretty...
This is a challenge, though. This is a challenge right now. Choco Taco and Dr. Deadmau5 all in a group together. No, I lied. This is the other green team, the Anthony K's team. Anthony dropping down from the roof, trying to get onto the second floor. Luke definitely heard that, though. But now Skadoodle here on Hacienda del Patron.
He's got that pistol primed and ready, Cameron, ready to put out the significant amount of damage that 1911 does not do. But nothing over here in Hacienda as well, trying to just peek these angles. This is a very tough spot to engage on in a squad battle, Cameron. Sort of like we talked about in the cities, so many different angles to be watched. A solo player can wipe out an entire squad in just seconds.
I'm waiting for Goober to get a kill with this P92. It's probably the worst gun in the entire game, but nothing though. He's trying over the kills of his own. This is 3 squads here, all in this one position. Chad losing all of his teammates. No choice but to make the long run out in the open. Not a single weapon to his name. He's got a little bit of armor and a first aid kit, and that is it.
Is Shroud rolling up in Hacienda right now? I think Shroud might have been rolling up in Hacienda as well, so that's interesting to see. Dr. Disrespect going to be looting in the power grid, though. Don't see any of his other teammates nearby, so kind of spreading out, getting all of this loot.
Skadoodle getting a lot more kills with the shotgun, taking down Learn, taking down D-Rich. Bad Shroud, though, is actually going to finish off his own teammate.
Sometimes you just got to do it.
Okay, put him out of his misery.
Sometimes it has to happen.
The screams were too much for him to handle.
Yeah, you never know. Or maybe he was just trying to deny the kill.
Shroud's getting more. You got Goobers. Skadoodle's down very low as well. Running out the side, and oh, landed the shot, but it wasn't enough. Bad Shroud gets a finish on that, and so Skadoodle, doing a lot of work in the very beginning, does get finished off by the follow-up by Shroud.
That's a bit of revenge right there, because I believe Nothing Squad took out Shroud in our last game. So, so hey, that's a feel-good moment right there for Shroud. He's certainly going to be happy with what he was able to pick up there in Hacienda. But now, team number 2, Anthony Comic Fan Squad, Jurassel, one of the significant forces in this tournament specifically, going to be looting through this Impala area. And he needs to be careful because we did see Choco Taco and the rest of the squad in here.
We did. They actually got a little mixed up, but both squads made the decision to separate there. And that's because I don't think we've showed them the circle just yet, if we can't pull that up. It's on the western side. They're on the eastern coast. They have them go all the way over towards the west. So neither of these squads really wants to fight if they can avoid it, because that transition is going to be a long one for them.
Absolutely. Our teams in the very far north up there by Torre Ahumada going to have to make quite the trek, and they're going to be going through multiple squads to get down to the south inside of this circle. But a few squads sitting very pretty in their position, specifically team number 11, Luzu's squad, down there in Chumacera, completely alone.
I am looking here at Los Leones, where it looks like Gold Glove's team may want to push onto Team Smack.
It's a big city, guys. You can spread out, but
they don't want to. But Chad, though, pushing in on Hacienda, drops Shroud, actually finishes that kill off. So once again, Shroud goes out early. But Chad, the last remaining player on his team, found a gun and came back in, wanted some revenge.
Wanting some revenge, so now I believe it's just Childish Major left on Shroud's squad once again. Can they give him the coaching to pull him through? Shroud going to be dropping, is that a frag grenade on top of Shroud's body right there?
He wants to make sure he's dead.
Yeah. Chad just wanted to confirm the kill, make sure, no back-to-life appearances for Shroud right there, because he would be a deadly threat.
He's that powerful of a threat. I mean, I don't blame him for trying to make sure, but look at this. The push there from Gold Glove actually gets turned on them. As Team Smack finds an initial kill, Dacula's going for more, finds it onto Event 20.
Event 20 going to be going down. The Dacula's trying to get even more shots out, but Diesel returns fire, and it's going to be Gold Glove coming up with a connection with his Scar onto a Daculus. Solid FPS, though, returning fire, knocks out Gold Glove, knocks out Diesel. A huge threat from this Team Smack.
Ooh, Jericho peeks around the side, gets another down for himself, but solid FPS is there to finish everything off, taken down very low, but they do wipe Gold Glove's team. So that's already 2 squads out so early on in the game. Guys, Miramar is a big map. You don't have to commit on each other like this.
You know what? No, keep on doing it. I love it as a spectator. We love the action. We love the chaos. So continue to do it, guys. The res is going to be had onto a Daculus, so he's going to be safe for the time being. Meanwhile, Chad's still left here in this Hacienda area against Childish Major from Shroud Squad.
Chad has no clue where Childish is. He's tossing out a couple of nades, hoping to find a lucky connection. Hoping to maybe hear footsteps running away from the grenade, give more information, but Childish is just moving around, staying sneaky, has actually moved his way onto the outside. Chad is walking around a lot. This means that Childish is able to potentially hear him. Molotov goes out, not going to find anything itself. But oh, the vault in. I think Chad heard this.
Chad might have heard it. He's looking down the hallway, and I don't think he did, Cameron, because he's going to be bailing out of this area. And certainly, I don't know if it's safe for either of these players to stay in here because it's just going to be chaotic. You're not going to have the whole, I guess, the advantage or just the whole opportunity to use your skill here. It's really going to come down to that close quarter combat, which can be so RNG-ish, I guess, in PUBG. It really comes down to who gets the first drop.
It comes down to who can hear the other one first. Sound is such an important feature in this game, especially in a 1v1, especially inside a building. Chad is going to actually be running up towards the north. He tossed out a couple grenades earlier. He's aware that it's probably a little more empty. Doesn't want to commit. If he heard Childish, he's definitely just trying to avoid him because he doesn't want to go into that fight being the aggressor, because there is always a defender's advantage right now, but he's actually going to be coming in from another angle, going to be looping around, finding more loot as well, because we saw him earlier. He didn't have a lot, but it looks like he's able to pick himself up a pretty good stash.
Yeah, 6 first aids to his name. He's got 3 boosts and then 2 bandages and a load of ammo for him to rain out onto his enemies. Childish Major, though, just continuing to peek these corners. I like this strategical play coming out from Childish Major right now. Unfortunately, Chad peeks the hallway, finds the connection with the M416, wiping out Shroud Squad in 14th place.
Timing in the favor of Chad here, able to get the finish onto that. So that's going to be the 3rd team out. Team 13, Team Shroud out of the game so early.
And here comes the blue zone, Cameron, shrinking in on circle number 1 of game number 4 here on Miramar. It's going to be putting a bit of a sense of pressure behind our team, specifically up there towards the north.
A little bit, but it's 4 minutes until it's done closing. So even the ones up in the north, even the ones up in military camp, do have enough time to rotate through, assuming they don't run through another squad. That's the real important thing.
Absolutely. I like what team number 10, this is going to be Little Lexi squad, is currently doing. They are looting far down in the southeast, Cameron, and then they're going to be making this rotation along the southern highway to enter into the southern part of the circle, which is going to be the least congested part of the circle as well. So a very safe play for them.
Yeah, knowing where, being able to judge where people are most likely hanging out and where they're most likely avoiding is a really important skill in this game. And so being able to judge based off of where the plane is, as well as the circle path, multiple circles in a row, is important. But what's also important is landing those shots. Drassel landed a couple, but didn't land enough to get the full finish. It did, however, cause Choco Taco's team to stop just inside the circle.
Yeah, those shots kind of put the fear of God into Choco Taco and the rest of the team trying to rotate out. I believe we have a few other members trying to get there, but yeah, they're just going to be holding up in this concrete building for the time being, trying to see if they can spot out any of Anthony Confan's team.
Yeah, this isn't a bad position to hold. The problem is that it's just barely inside the circle, so they're going to have to move most likely wherever the next circle goes to. But in return, they now have Anthony's team pinned down. Anthony does have a position. They're doing a little 2-2 of a split, so they could crush onto them from 2 separate angles. But Choco Taco, again, just hold defensive. Could be able to land your shots, can defend from that.
Yeah, can't do much in that position. And if these guys continue to engage, they're going to lose a lot of time trying to find a new position once our second circle of game number 4 ends up popping. But meanwhile, we are still in the first phases of this game. The blue zone's still shrinking in, about 50% of the way done with that push. Trick 2G squad, though, going to be rotating, trying to find a way in, and they might be running into a bit of an issue here.
They're in the blue. They're taking a little bit of damage. But they've had a long time to loot up. They've had a lot of compounds to loot up from as well. And so it should be okay. They haven't had to deal with anyone, and looking at their path on the minimap, it doesn't look like they will have to deal with anyone. So, taking some damage, it is worth it to avoid contact when they don't need to fight. Drassel, though, continuing to push on the Choco Taco, trying to take some shots. Doesn't land the first connection, but he's going to continue to go for more with the 6X on the Car 98.
Absolutely, Cameron. Something you mentioned about those late rotations are soaking a little bit of the blue damage. Better to use up 4 first aids than to lose at least 1 member. So it could be very tough if you end up losing players. We talked about how extreme the numbers advantage here is in squads, specifically to PUBG. Ammunition, the rest of the team going to all have their vehicles rolling through these hills of Miramar and pretty much showcasing how hard it is to transition in vehicles.
Especially in that van. That thing is going 5 miles an hour over that hill. It does hit a field, and they are able to find themselves a large barn to hang out in. But that van is it's a pretty avoided vehicle. I think it's the least driven vehicle in the entirety of the game.
It's stylish, though. I think it looks good on this map. So, you know,
I mean, sure.
I can't knock Ann for picking up the van and making that transition. A little bit slower, sure. Look good, play good, though. That is the motto. Come on, Cameron. Look around.
Paint some flowers on that. Be a little hippie child.
Hey, you never know. So many different utilizations of that VW bus. You got to love it. But here comes little Lexi, the rest of the squad. We saw them take a boat, but now they've made landfall, and they're going to be coming up onto the coast.
Flare gun out in the air. First time we've actually seen this happen so far. Directly over Dr. Disrespect and Deadmau5's team.
Very interesting indeed. Right smack dab in the middle of the circle. Looks like Yakas and the rest of Ammunition Squad going to be getting a crate to boot right in the center. So that's a good pickup for them. Choco Taco, in the meantime, going to be spotting out Drassel and the rest of Anthony Conkman's squad.
Oh.
And it's not Choco that ends up taking out one of these members. It is the vehicle driven by Drassel. Unfortunate for Modfather right there. Choco takes full advantage of that down. Going to be sealing away the kill.
Absolutely. Was not intended at all, but Choco Taco sees an opportunity in front of him, and he is going to take it. Wants to go aggressive, but the blue is finally closed. And we see where the next circle is going to be. Drassel and his teammates, excluding, you know, the recently deceased S-Modfather, they are going to retreat and try and go center because that is where the next circle is. But they hit a rock, but that's okay because they're able to adjust.
Able to adjust. Cameron, I'm very concerned about these teams on the edge of our first circle that have to make their way down south, east, or west. They're going to have to go through at least one squad each for them to get there. And already we see a bit of a gatekeeping being held by Boogie, Deadmau5, Doc, and the rest of squad number 7 against Trick 2G.
Yeah, on the northern side, but they're not in the circle themselves yet. So they do need to worry a little bit about that. But it's actually going to be Team Smack gatekeeping both Choco and Anthony's teams. IDEB trying to take some shots out, not going to connect. But it does force them to stop on the edge. They are still inside the circle, but it's not necessarily the spot that they wanted to go to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to work with what you have. Sometimes, you know, a wrench gets thrown in your plans, and that's one of the beautiful things about PUBG. You might have a plan, but it is certainly going to be ending. It's going to change, Cameron, as the game progresses with the different circles. We see the different threats that will be presenting themselves. Meanwhile, though, more and more transitions now starting to occur, which is what you like to see. You like to see these teams trying to get into the circle to establish those dominant positions. Another team that is actually holding on to a dominant position is Vis's team, team number 16. Yeah, they've actually been able to avoid all combat, and they're staying center circle. Question is, though, can they maintain this position? We saw last map a team that was in the preferred spot wasn't able to hold it. So the game isn't done for them just yet, just because they're center. They have to continue to hold that position. And if they take too many headshots from any angle around them, it could be too much for them to handle. Yeah, we see Chad here, the solo player from Team Chad, able to rotate out of that hacienda position, now just finding himself riding the edge. Exactly what you want to see a solo player doing.
Exactly.
Just kind of avoiding all conflict, all of the major hotspots, all of the centralized areas where, sure enough, a lot of players are starting to gravitate towards. Ooh, Doc's team is going to be having a bit of a team kill right there as Uncle Getter is run over by Boogie. Hopefully they'll be able to recover off of that because certainly they need those numbers to push on, Cameron. Drassel and his teammate trying to bomb in through this building. They're stopped momentarily because they hear the vehicles around them. Drassel's shot isn't going to connect onto Lexi and her teammate in the vehicle. That Murado, Cameron, is so loud. You can hear it coming from a mile away, and that's exactly what just happened here, enabling Drassel to really line up those Car 98 shots. Incredibly hard shots to hit, but he was going to take them regardless. But by stopping, it means that it gave little Lexi and the teammate riding shotgun in that vehicle priority on getting into the center of the circle. By stopping, it means they stalled their own rotation out, and now they're going to come in later than they would have if they had stuck onto the pedal. Absolutely. Blue Zone going to be pushing in now on circle number 2 before we see our third shrink of game number 4 here on Miramar. Shots, though, erupting. It looks like Ammunition Squad has spotted out Vis. Long-distance shots, but certainly shots nonetheless. A lot of people trying to gang up dead center, so it's up to Team Vis. We're talking about their central position. Can they hold it? They have a bit of a high ground over teams, particularly the ones to the south of Ammunition, but they have to land the shots in order to utilize their position itself. Now it's Doc that gets taken out by Deadmau5. A lot of team runovers there for Deadmau5 and Doc's team. But it's Dizzy and Alaric gets 2 downs onto Ashik. Yeah. I mean, Cameron, it's so tough to drive on this map. We alluded to it earlier, and so it's not abnormal for us to see a lot of car collisions, crashes, downs, or whatnot, but it looks like they're able to recover off of it. We see Uncle Getter and the rest of the team fully up. They've got their meds off, and they're going to be good to go, but they are looking down their sights onto Vis. Yeah, even with that, that team not kill, the team down, it potentially gave Vis an opportunity to punish them while they get the revive, but the distance between them was too great
for Team Vis to really do much with it. But now it's time for deadmau5 and Doc, Getter, and Boogie to really keep control of their position. It looks like they're going into a 2-2 split, which is a very powerful maneuver if you can use the terrain in your advantage in that way on this map.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we have seen deadmau5, Getter play together, a very strong duo. They have synergy. We've seen Boogie and deadmau5 play together, so the 2-2 split could be very beneficial for this squad.
Absolutely. They do need to worry that they don't overextend themselves if they don't end up fighting two opposing fronts, 2v4 in two separate locations. But the distances between the teams at this point means that they are going to be able to see these engagements potentially happen before they do, and they're able to adjust off of it. And they're not spreading too far away from each other. Wiki, though, taking out a couple of shots onto them, not landing too many connections, if any at all, but it still puts pressure.
Absolutely.
But here comes the push now, actually, from Dizzy Kitten here, more onto Ashek's team. Already took out one, wants to go for more. English had him down as well. I think there's only one player left onto Ashek's team, and he has already made his way out of this location. He says, nope. Sorry, Adam.
I hope you can survive against this four-man push from Dizzy Kitten. And unfortunately, he doesn't going to leave that team to continue on. But as we can see, look at these rotations, crossing paths just meters away from one another. More car kills going out. Anthony Conklin going to be knocked down by Drassel. That is 2 so far in game number 4 for Drassel. What are you doing down there?
Drassel actually gets finished off now by Painkiller. So once again, losing the player that gets down, and now they're down to 2. Actually down to 1 because Anthony did a good drop. Painkiller going for the aggressive push. I think the revive is going to come through. He's a little slow on the peek over. I don't know what he sees. But yeah, he gives his position his way.
You know, just pre-firing, trying to get some heads that are going to be poking out of there. None are going to be presenting themselves. Just Anthony bleeding out there on the hill. Painkiller spots him out. Going to be popping off those shots with the M16. Taking Anthony down and out here in game number 4, but still 13 teams remaining, 43 players alive, and only 18 minutes into this game, Cameron. The action has been left and right nonstop.
Wiki found one connection, forced that player to prone down. I think he just found a second, and actually he drops deadmau5 with it. So this is the importance of taking out those long-range shots, trying to finish the kill. Doc is there for support to try and push Wiki back, but it's not going to find anything just yet.
Not going to find anything just yet, but that's not going to deter him from continuing to take these shots. Wiki and the rest of Viz's team are in such a good position to take these shots. The elevated lines of sight are absolutely detrimental to Doc and the rest of his squad right now. deadmau5 still bleeding out. He's going to be res, though, so that's very significant. I mean, this team has been able to keep all 4 members up through a world of hurt, which is so huge, Cameron.
A kill and a finish there for Trick2G's team. So they're chiming in with damage of their own. It's definitely a good adjustment to see them make, because they didn't get into a lot of fights earlier on. I think that was one of their key downfalls.
Yeah, absolutely. The Doc still trying to put out this damage. Wiki, though, is a supreme threat up here. He spots out a crate. Going to see if any players are going to be baited by it, because if they are, whoo, Viz's squad is in a position to rain down hellfire.
Most everyone is inside the circle right now. It's only a couple of teams pulling up the rear, trying to get inside the edge. And it's a minute left until the circle closes, and then the real game starts.
Exactly. The mid to late game is so action-packed here on Miramar. It almost sets itself up. The game kind of just rolls by, and then all of a sudden hits you like a freight train when all of this action starts popping off. The third-party engagements, so many squads next to one another.
Garrett spotted out Boom's position in the shack, but it's going to be solid on the kill feed, who drops out Destiny's Chicken and gets the full-on kill on that. So Choco Talker, him and his team, continuing to bleed members left and right. Boomsy and Choco actually on the retreat now. Multiple nades, multiple mollies being thrown out by Team Smack. And so they're going to go back south, run around the left side.
Run around the left side, they will. One thing I want to know, Cameron, we've seen the name a few times tonight, Destiny's Chicken. I like that name. There's some clever names in PUBG, and that's one in particular that stands out to me. So unfortunate that she died, but I love your name nonetheless. Adaculus is going to be spotting out Boomsy and one other member of Choco Taco's squad. Will he be able to get around the rock, taking so much damage? He's safe, but I don't know if his teammate is going to be safe.
No, the teammate actually gets taken out. IDev is going to be the finish him off, but it was also out in the open, no revive possible. Out in the blue, Choco Taco taking a lot of damage from the blue as well. Hiding behind a rock. Not a lot that he can do at this point.
Yeah, not a lot that he can do. Pretty much just wait and hope that that team forgets about him or diverts their attention somewhere else, giving him the opportunity to rotate. Meanwhile, though, Adaculus and the rest of Team Smack going to be continuing on this push through this building. Going to be watching these lines of sight. Need to be careful about Choco. Looks like Choco is able to make his way in, but the blue zone will be closing, so he needs to continue on that track.
I hope he has meds. That's the real question for him right now. He is able to get his way inside the zone, but The next zone has revealed itself, and it's about to close in 40 seconds. Yakiz gets it down onto Wolf.
Ooh, and what a shift that is. I mean, that's going to be tough for some of these teams to transition, specifically our teams on the southeastern side of things, Cameron. They are a world away from making an entry into the safe zone, and it's going to be so tough with all of the teams already making those transitions. Ewan taking down very low, about 25% HP as he makes his way to the shack. I believe taking some shots from team number 10, the Lil Lexi squad.
As well as Team 11, Luzu there on the southwest side. Luzu, though, they need to push in. They are on the edge, and the blue is just now about to close. They don't have any time to take it slow. They have to rush up. They have to get these kills or find a vehicle and hope that they're able to make it to the next circle safely.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got to do something here. Yak is going to be utilizing that MK14 crate gun with the 6x. This gun puts out a lot of damage, Cameron, if he can find the connections. Those 7.62 rounds ring true day in and day out. He's going to be looking up spots out. Nomi from Evil Genius's Lil Lexi squad rolling up the hill. Going to be alerting the rest of his team, Team Ammunition, that threats are nearby.
Pushing the way into the circle, but Nomi is here to try and gatekeep that. A nade comes out, but a peek around the side. Solid. Oh, it finds another kill on another team elsewhere, but more nades come out. Pushing around the side, Ammunition taking point. Doesn't land too many connections as Squad 10's trying to run away, but they all peek up at once.
Very aggressive charge coming out of Ammunition squad. Everyone else retreats, leaving Ann to try to do whatever she can. She gets connected on by Nomi, and unfortunately, given her position, I don't see any world where she gets out of here. Trick 2G, though, lighting up the kill feed, able to find a connection onto Dizzy Kitten, but it gets immediately connected back on by Alaric.
Yeah, here it is. Everyone's tried to avoid fights until now, but now they've pushed way too close to each other. We're losing teams left and right. We just lost Giant Waffle now, and a lot of teams have taken a fair bit of casualties. Ammunition, I believe, is only down to one herself.
Absolutely, less than a 3-player average per team right now. 11 teams remaining, 30 players alive as we are getting into the thick of it all. Here comes Team Smack, though, rolling through these mountains. They're going to be rolling up on the solo player, Chad, from Team Chad.
Two more teams now out, down to just 9 as that Trinity finishes off Lil Lexi as they go out in 10th place. Chad, still alive.
Still alive.
Didn't get any more kills yet, but that's fine because he's playing the game that you play when you're by yourself. Oh, but he spotted out. This is the problem. He is in the way of the zone from Team Smack, and it's an easy push for them to go onto his position if they're aware that there's only one player. But it looks like Luzu Games now trying to take some long-range shots onto members of Ammunition, or should I say member? No, there was a second one up. They were able to get a revive onto that one.
Yeah, so able to at least come out of that engagement with a few numbers. Blue zone almost done, finishing with this transition, so our next shrink is about to happen. Meanwhile, though, Chad finds a connection onto Vis Games with the M416, so Chad's not going out yet, Cameron.
Ooh, Chad found it down onto Smack, but Solid immediately there. Finish him off, and that's going to be them out in 9th place, and the Blues coming in. I don't know if they're going to be able to get a revive onto that. Solid down very low himself. I don't know if he has enough time before the blue overtakes his position, but it just now closed, and the next circle has revealed itself pretty center, just a little bit to the south. And finally, Vis, his team, their position is not in sight anymore, but they are close on the edge. Right now, here's an engagement between Ammunition, and Luzu is continuing to break out. Team Luzu continuing to push in closer and closer.
Yeah, just trying to get these lines of sight. Justin going to be bleeding out. Meanwhile, though, a huge engagement is lining itself up here to the north. Deadmau5 pushing out very aggressively away from his squad into the 4-man team of Trick 2G. Shots now coming out, trying to find the connections onto Cookie Man. He's going to be retreating off of this. He loses his helmet in the process, realizes maybe I bit off a little bit more than I can chew here.
Yeah, he's calling out his information to his teammate Uncle Getter there immediately on the follow-up. Try and gatekeep these guys out, but it is a potential 2v4 if their teammates can't chime in with help of their own. Deadmau5 wanting to go for these kills, but it looks like they're going to be pulling off. They don't want to commit too heavily outside the zone because the blue is just now about to shrink in.
Absolutely. You can see Doc does not want any part of this. He is transitioning further south. Nowhere is he moving north to help out Deadmau5 and Uncle Getter right now, but Boogie is going to be aiming some shots in that direction, giving them some overwatch from the south. And there we go, Doc now reverting. He knows that he's got to help out his squad here. The shots ringing true onto Trick 2G's squad. A lot of damage going out onto these guys, but certainly being returned as well on the Deadmau5 and Doc squad.
They need to find these connections quickly, though. They're getting some damage, yes, but they're not getting any kills or any downs, and they need to take care of this squad for them to push in safely into the circle. They can adjust themselves and swing around the east side, go clockwise down to the east, but this blue is already closing in, so they may have lost their opportunity to do that safely.
And then soon enough, these shots are going to be heard by Team Smack. Smack and Daedalus is going to be rolling up from the eastern side to the north. And Trick's squad is just in a very tough position now. finding themselves rotating around to the east.
Yeah, so far this event, Trick Squad hasn't really given me a lot of confidence that they can win gun duels. They do have 3 kills right now, though, so we know that they can do stuff.
Oh, I've seen Trick frag out before,
yes.
Yeah. There is nothing wrong with that guy and his aim.
Can they frag out right now, though, as they come across? Smack and Edaculus, 2 versus 4. Team Smack definitely hears these players push up, and they're staying together as 2. But Team Gates are pushing in as duos as well. Buddy System is coming in key. No connections just yet. Cookie Man trying to peek out the window. Smack trying to do his own, see if he can't spot anyone from Trick. Overextend their head just a little bit.
And if it wasn't bad enough already, Cameron, we do have one more squad that looked like they were kind of posturing themselves to rotate up onto this engagement. It's Vis Games and their 4-man squad over here on the eastern side of things. Blue Zone, though, almost done with his transition. Shots continuing to come out. Smack just trying to hold this window, see if he can get any lines of sight.
They're letting Trick's team get close to them. Cookie Man, though, let out a shot, but he wasn't looking the wrong angle. And smacking Edaculus, dropping 3 members of Trick 2G. There's only 1 player left right now. Edaculus, though, taking a lot of damage in from the south. Team Vis is third partying this heavy, but Horsey, can he finish it off? He drops down Smack, makes it a 1 versus 1, and he finishes off Edaculus as well.
Horsey, what a play right there. If you are on Trick 2G squad right now, you were just absolutely saved by the plays from Horsey. You got to be buying that guy a drink or something later on because he just earned it here in game number 4, Cameron.
A lot of damage, and a lot of them are still in the blue, though. They can't crawl out because Team Vis still has eyes on their position. It's going to be a rough recovery for them.
Absolutely, just holding these lines of sight. All of these engagements erupting around Vis Games right now, and he just hears it all, which enables him to just hide back. Use these bits of defilade for cover as he takes these peeks, seeing if he gets lucky, has an opportunity to take the shots. If he does, this is a deadly shot, and I would be fearful if I were on the receiving end of that gun.
Next circle has gone quite center. It's almost dead center. As perfect as you can ever really expect it to be, which is good for a lot of these teams in, but Luzu, they already finished off ammunition earlier, and they're out for blood still. They want to push in through Team Ashik. Getting it down onto that Trinity is a good start, but Garrett hears this. Team Vis, they're not done with the work that they have to do. 2 kills isn't enough for them right now, and they're trying to third party as many fights as they can.
They want more, including that first place finish, Cameron. 6 teams remaining, 18 players alive, and all of the battles are starting to erupt here on the eastern side of things. We do have Boom, a solo player from Anthony Kongman's team. He's just hiding inside of the circle for the time being. He's got to be hearing these shots, Cameron. And what is going on in your head as a solo player?
Please don't check my spot.
Yes.
That's it. Oh, Trick, they do get sprayed down. It's the dead Doc and Team Vis with the crossfire onto them, taking a lot of casualties. It is just Cookie left. Horsey's bleeding out, but Painkiller is now peeking around from the south onto Team Vis. Team Vis may have overextended onto this. Painkiller landing a couple of connections. Can't get it down just yet. And if he overextends, overcommits onto this, he could get punished in return, but Justin drops Garrett.
This is exactly what you were talking about, Cameron. You stand out so much on these hills here on Miramar. The long engagements, no cover for Vis Games to hide behind at all, except for that one tree, and popping out from behind it, going to be receiving a lot of damage. 3 connections landing true.
Deadmau5 also on the north side wants to push in onto this as well. Wiki down very, very low. Running out behind the tree once he popped its first aid kit. Painkiller trying to punish this rotation, but it looks like he's able to get behind cover, at least visual cover. Deadmau5 finishes off Trick 2G's team, and there's still 4 alive, and they want to push for more. They have control of the northern part of the circle.
I like what they're doing right now. They're in a 3-1 split. They've got Uncle Getter, Deadmau5, and Boogie off to the east, dealing with those threats. Meanwhile, Dr. Disrespect, north center of the circle, just holding these angles, soaking up any information for the rest of his squad. He's got full faith in these 3 guys to do whatever they came to do.
Yeah, they haven't gotten a lot of kills so far. That just means that they've been able to save up a lot of resources for the end game, and that's where it's important. They're able to make it the top 5, but they want top 1.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. There's no third place prize here, Cameron. Nope. Obviously, you know, top 2 are going to be prized out here, but Painkiller going to be receiving shots from Ashik, landing true with that mini 14, but not before Painkiller was able to wipe out 2 members of Vis Games.
Yeah, Team Vis now out in 5th place. Had to make the rotation from the east down onto the south, but they end up running directly into Team Luzu.
Yep.
The other L.
Yeah, the other L. Here comes Doc, though, going to be reuniting with his other 3 teammates. A smart play to make, given the fact that our next shrink has occurred 40 seconds before the blue zone. We'll be pushing in on this circle. Looking around, Cameron, the southern edge of things has become sort of setting itself up for a bit of an engagement here.
A little bit of engagement because they're all going to have to leave. Those compounds aren't in the circle anymore, and there's not a lot of cover. They're going to have to fight each other as well as the third party of the Dead Doc squad. Up on the northern side, they're taking position on the top of this hill right before it slopes down onto this farm compound.
Yeah, certainly an interesting spot for them to be in. The elevated advantage going to be giving them so many great lines of sight. Here we go. Deadmau5 with the M416 has the 4x on. All he has to do is look down at this building, and he will be spotting on Ashik and crew. Not yet, though. So meanwhile, just soaking up whatever information you can get. I mean, Deadmau5, he's been playing PUBG for a while. Yeah. This guy knows what to do. We can see him in this first-person view watching all his different angles.
Always check your corners, keep your head on a swivel. That's the important way to play this game, and he knows the potential of someone in this compound, and it's gonna bear fruit as he spots out Boom. Boom, the last player left, was hoping that he left late enough to be avoided and be ignored, but that's not gonna be the case. But oh, it looks like he wants to fight back. He's landing a lot of damage on the Deadmau5. Takes him down very, very low. Can he find the final connection to drop it out of the truck? It doesn't seem to be the case.
Doesn't seem to be the case, but it might be giving an opportunity to Ashik's squad right now. Wide in the open, going to be using this truck for whatever cover they can, but it's rolling, so it's extremely dangerous. Hop in it, hit the emergency brake, get back out, explode it, and use it for cover. Certainly it would be an advantageous position for them to hold in this circle, but a dangerous one at that.
It was an ambitious one, but it was necessary because they were on the faster side of the circle, and they didn't have the cover of the compound to try and leave, but here comes Loser and Painkiller out from the building, taken down by Boom and Dat Trinity to finish them off to take them out in 4th place. But Dead Doc, they want more out of this. Doc peeking from behind a tree, taken down to about 30% HP, and they do still need to worry about Boom because they have yet to finish him off. But Ashik also in from the south, trying to throw as many shots as he can onto their position. It was a strong spot to try and take, but they may have put themselves in a crossfire.
Yeah, I mean, it might play out for them. It might not. We don't know. 3 teams remaining, 7 players alive. And for right now, team number 7, Doc's team with Deadmau5, Getter, and Boogie are looking primed to finish off with the first place. And a chicken dinner here. They've got all 4 up. Ooh, a knock coming out there from Ashik on Uncle Getter. Going to be a very big thorn in the side now of team number 7.
Spray down on the vehicle, trying to minute go up in flames, and it does.
Beautifully done by Ashik and Dat Trinity right there, but they are not done yet. Still more threats up to the north that they need to be worried about and around the map as a whole.
Boom has got to be thanking his lucky stars. Dead Doc should have taken care of him before they pushed down that central position, but they were too ambitious trying to go quickly, and this allows him to swing around onto the eastern side. Finds cover as well. Isn't in the circle himself just yet, but neither is Team Ashik, who still have to push in through the Doc, who's the last remaining player from his team, but he peeks out too aggressively. Ashik has the angle and takes out Doc. 2 teams left. It's Boom versus 2.
And this is exactly how Boom wanted this to end up. Certainly he did not know what the team numbers were working with around the map, but now he knows that there are only 2 other players remaining, and a 1v2 is not a far stretch, especially when you're Boom.
Not at all, but look, Team Ashik, they're rushing for the circle as quickly as they can. They want control of the next play zone. Boom, though, on the other side is waiting it out, and the blue is going to be pushing onto him momentarily. He spotted out, Ashik catches him, but Boom needs to land shots immediately before the blue overtakes him. Ooh. That's an easy headshot, but Boom finds that Trinity instead. Ashik, you should have landed these shots. You lost your position. Pulls out an AK, and it is going to be enough of a spray at the end with help from the play zone. Team Ashik take game number 4.
What a finish from Ashik right there. That AKM is not easy to control at all when it's on automatic fire, Cameron. So a huge, huge game coming out from Team Ashik. A total of 12 kills to round out that first place finish. 12
kills. This is what we're talking about. They had a very difficult position to control in the late game. They were fighting off aggressives left and right.